Hi there, it's me again, your Lavanya. We are continuing the discussion on Unmai vilakkam. We have already discussed about 26 verses. Now we are moving on to 27. 27, 28 and 29th verses must be taught together, but since we don't want to break the chain, we will go one after the other. But in order to understand the entire concept in a much clear manner, 27, 28, 20 and 29 must be taught together, must be discussed together or must be perceived together. So let's start with 27. குன்றா அருளாலே கூறினீர் என் வடிவு பொன்றாத நும்முருவம் போதியீர் நின்று அருக்கன் கண்ணுக்கு காட்டுமா போலே உனதறிவில் நன்னி அறிவித்திடுவோம் நாம். This song, this verse has got both the question as well as answer as part of it. If you look at it, the earlier verses, the question that was put forth to the Guru was, who am I? And in almost 3 verses, 3 different songs, the Guru was explaining the concept of life, soul. So now the disciple is going to the Guru and asking, okay, now I am clear with who am I, but can I check who are you then? If you have a deep thought in it, we may have a question. A guru is also a human being, right? We are seeing him in front of us with the same kind of an appearance, with the same flesh and blood. So most probably it must be the same answer, isn't it? But one first very important belief in Saivam is something that we need to be very careful about. When you talk about a guru, Guru is Lord Shiva himself. Based on our maturity level, because we don't know what level of maturity we belong to. So for example, if you are a trainer, a facilitator, when you are coaching the operational level people, you will use a different language. When you talk about coaching project managers, you will be using a different language. When you are using C-level officers, you will be using a different language. When you are training in or teaching in a kindergarten, your language will be totally different. We cannot use the same language that we are using for a CEO or a CIO to a kindergarten student. They may not have a clue about what we are talking. It might all sound Greek and Latin to them. So how do we make it more clear to them? We need to reduce our complexity, go as simple as possible and try to explain it according to the audience. That's why we always say, whenever you're trying to communicate, the first lesson is know your audience. Know your target audience so that you can pace your lesson, your communication, your speech according to that. That is the same concept we are looking at over here also. When Lord Shiva decides to initiate us in this holy path, he cannot come directly. Imagine a situation, Lord Shiva is coming in front of us with all the snakes and all these in his neck, around his neck, and holding a fire in his hand. Do you think we'll be comfortable in just standing in front of him? Forget about talking. We'll just run away from that place, isn't it? We can easily remember the Mickey and Donald series in this, you know, the way how the speed and then just vanish in a minute. Similar to that, we will be running away in a jiffy. Now imagine a situation, Lord Shiva is coming in a very peaceful setup, like, you know, he's having all that deer and with his consort and all these, he's coming in a very peaceful state. The first question we will ask him is, are you a cinema artist? Did you come directly from your shooting spot? We will not believe that it is Shiva, isn't it? That is our maturity level anyways. So depending on our maturity level, if he wants to initiate us, he doesn't have an option. He needs to reduce his complexity. That is where what he did is, he, because of his grace, it is his compassion, it is his grace, what he is doing is taking a human form. The same as us. When you look at it, it's like a reflection. The same human body, the same human form, with the same flesh and blood, a guru is coming in front of us. But who is a guru? It is Lord Shiva himself. Why is he coming in? Just to make sure that he is initiating us in this divine path, so that we can go through a peaceful journey towards him. Now, we can see this in a lot of scenarios. If you go to Thailand, you will be able to see this capturing of elephants. What they will do is they will capture a wild elephant and they will try to tame it. In order to tame a wild elephant, they need a tamed elephant. They will use a similar elephant which is already very obedient in nature, and then we will use that elephant in order to tame the wild elephant. Similar to that, if we want to capture a deer, that's also the same. So we always go for a similar language people or being, so that the other person knows that they are in a safe hands. That is the same approach Lord Shiva is also doing when he wants to tame us, because we are all wild right now and we can see that we are indeed wild. Now, in order to tame us, what he is doing is sending a guru. Guru is a tamed person basically. So he is actually taking the form of guru and he is coming towards us so that we can be tamed and we can get started with this particular path. So that is where initiation, which we call it as DK, initiation is very, very important, because that initiates our path in this particular destiny, or this particular journey rather. Now, when you look at it, the question was put forth to the guru saying that, okay guru, now I'm clear about who am I. Can you please tell me who you are? And the answer is coming over here. Nindru arukkan kannukku kattuma pole. How this particular sun that we are seeing permeates around the earth, around the globe, making sure that the living beings are able to see things clearly and visibly. Imagine a situation, if it is totally dark, are we able to see things vividly? No, there's always a haze. So only based on the sun's rays, we will be able to see, we will be able to appreciate it. So in order to see, in order to appreciate, we need to have the sun's rays, whatever it may be. In fact, even to see our own eyes, we need light. We need the source of light, and the source of light is sought from a sun. So that's the same example, analogy he's giving over here, because our brain can comprehend things only with the help of metaphors and analogies. That is why most of these texts, if you look at it, they will use a lot of analogies and they will use a lot of these kind of metaphors so that we can really comprehend the information. So here the analogy that is used is very simple: sun. Sun comes out in order to show what are the things around us. Similar to that, what are we doing is God is staying with us in order for us to enjoy this life. When I shake my hands, when I move my hands, when I lift my hands, it is because of Him that I'm able to do it. If not, I wouldn't be able to do it. So He is standing beside in a witness attitude. He's there every single second, nanosecond, whatever you want to call it. He is with us. He is with us indeed, and we will be able to see and feel Him only when we are able to move towards that direction. Imagine when we are having so much of worldly thoughts and we are fully permeating within this worldly affairs and all these, we wouldn't be able to realize and relate that He is with us, but He is indeed with us every single minute, every single second, every single nanosecond. What these texts are trying to do is make us realize that He is there. Imagine we would have faced a situation, something like when we are moving in a car, we would be about to hit an accident, and you will say, wow, I tell you, don't know how I really reacted at that point in time. I think it's God's grace. Yes, it is God's grace. When something is stopping you unbelievably, you get into that kind of a situation, you will say, looks like someone pulled me away, and that someone is nothing but Lord Shiva. So we need to understand and appreciate it, and we should start realizing it. There is someone next to us every single minute watching what we are doing, looking at what we are doing. Now, there will be this particular concept will kindle a lot of questions and doubts in us. just hold on for a while. We'll talk about the next two verses also, and then when I'm doing a recap, most of your questions can be answered. Trust me, this coming up with these questions is quite natural, and we have all gone through that process. So we will have a lot of questions. Write down all your questions. We will get it sorted out after another two more verses, which is almost about 29th verse. So after that we will have a clarity. Now this particular verse talks about a concept called as Advaitam. Advaitam means there are three things that we are looking at: Lord Shiva and soul's responsibility or relationship. What is the relationship between the soul and Lord Shiva? It is different, it is inseparable, and it is togetherness. We are talking about the three together. That is what we call it as Advaitam. Advaitam means he is with us, he is inseparable, and at the same time he is together with us, merged together. So that is the way we are looking at it, and the concept of Advaitam is a lot different from what we are hearing right now, and we will be discussing about that in detail. So we have discussed verse number 27, which explained one concept which is called as different. The soul and Shiva, or the Almighty, we call him Shiva, but it's the Almighty and the soul, the relationship is, the first one is different. Tomorrow we will talk about another relationship which is called as inseparable. So I'll come back to you again tomorrow with the next verse. Until then, bye bye.